I-V-M.
Change is inevitable. It is the law of the universe, right? Why then do we struggle so much with it? Because change can be taxing, intense, and it often leaves us feeling lost, trying to find our way through the new. You've tuned into the 5th episode of the Positively Unlimited podcast with me, Chetna. This series is about the A-Z of PositiveAction based on a beautiful deck and DIY workbook I have created. To know more about this deck and the book, log on to my website, circleofpositivity.com. To know more about how to embrace change, keep listening. Today, the 5th card I've pulled from the deck of PositiveAction is E for Embrace the Change. We're talking about 3 scenarios today. One where you want to change something and it's about putting in the effort to make it happen. Scenario 2 is when you want something to change, but you don't have the courage or the resilience to bear the pain. And 3 is when the new situation is thrust upon you, literally forcing you to change. In all 3 cases, remember you will have to embrace the change. Say you want to lose weight and build a strong body that looks and feels a certain way. You know you want to change something. You even know why you want to change. The struggle here is to put in consistent effort. In this scenario, you must make it a point to embrace the struggle, the journey before you can enjoy the result. The change in this case is not just physical, but it's about standing in awareness, accepting and changing how you think and feel, and how you make choices. Embracing a new way of living, a new way of treating yourself, is what this journey of change can be about. Episode 1, where I spoke about aligning your thoughts, words, and actions, has some great tips on how to stay on track and make this change. You can listen to that on the IVM website, app, and other podcast platforms. Moving on to the second scenario, which can be about working through our fears or accepting failure. Let's take a situation where you are stuck in a bad relationship or a marriage that's going south. You know something needs to change. You know you need to end it, but the thought of letting go is making you stay in the suffering. I know this is a painful process, but being aware of it and accepting that is step 1. Take a paper and pen and write down your fears. Don't judge. Don't think too much. Just put those thoughts that have trapped you down on paper. Remember, these have to be simple, short sentences and not long essays. So you may end up with a page that looks like, I have no money, how will I take care of myself? I don't know how to do anything on my own, how will I take care of myself? Or, I'm afraid I'll ruin the lives of my children by walking out. Or, I'm not good enough. Maybe this is what I deserve. Maybe this is the best I will get in this lifetime. Whatever you put down, believe me, something shifts when you just put it out there. So get up from wherever you sat to do this. Go take a shower or a walk or do something that's completely different. You need to let the mind process the truths that you just put down. The next day, yes, give yourself a day's time. Write about what would your life be like if you walked out of this relationship and you had a magic wand to overcome all the hurdles and the fears. What would your life look like? Here, you are allowed to write that essay. For now, this is wishful thinking, so just go for it. Dream a little dream, I say. Once done, do the same thing as the previous day. Get up and do something else. By day 3, you would have gained some clarity about what you want to do and maybe even how. All you need is to decide and build that feeling of conviction within your being. You don't need to take any action unless you are ready and willing. Let your being first embrace the idea of this change. Don't be in a hurry. Slowly let your mind and heart shift the energy within you, and you will come to a space of shifting your reality too. The key here is to accept that this is a painful process, and you will have to push past your fears. There will be tears, there will be anger, there will be frustration. You need to embrace the fact that this is the process. But the pot of gold at the other end of this is that life that you have envisioned for yourself. Accept the hurt, process the anger, work through your fears one step at a time. Don't rush the process. Give yourself time. Remember, you need to find the balance between being kind with yourself, to yourself, and being tough too. Episode 2 has this great exercise that teaches you to be still, and episode 3 has a bunch of tips on how you can clear the clutter from your life. So make sure you tune into those on the IVM podcast website, the app, or other podcast platforms. Moving on to scenario 3, where a change is thrust upon us. Sudden death of a loved one is a situation where we face this kind of change. Be kind and gentle to yourself. Allow yourself to grieve. It is the most important part of the process. Even if this is about a relationship ending, even if this is about losing a job and moving to another city, I don't know, maybe being thrown out of your own home and having to build your world all over again. It's all a death of a certain kind. Let yourself grieve. It is part of the process of embracing this change. When I lost my mother a couple of years ago, I embraced the change by embracing every emotion. On some days I felt angry. I'd acknowledge this anger and I'd write about it. And I stood in that awareness. I knew I would snap at people or I would be irritable, so I kept myself in check. I was more cautious than on most other days, and I was ready with an apology if I ever needed one. But I did not judge myself. I just allowed myself to feel what I felt. Episode 4 was about dropping that judgment, in case you need to listen to that right now. I also made a note of how my daily routine changed now that my mom wasn't around. I made a note of the new responsibilities and tasks that I would need to take care of. And I juggled my existing routine to fit it in. In the beginning, this was a struggle, but I pushed through. I aligned my thoughts, words, and actions slowly and steadily. But above all, I gave myself time to accept this new reality at my own pace. Yes, I still miss her. I always will. But every day I honor her memory by staying true to the values she instilled in me. Look, change is inevitable. It is the central spoke that keeps the wheel of life turning. Change is about growth and evolution. Embracing it is the only choice, the only way. Think about it. How have you felt when you have resisted change or fought against it? Was that a pleasant ride? We are all put in situations to learn certain lessons, to push through our limitations and become the beings we were born to be. Only when you embrace change can you discover your potential and live your truth. To all who are tuned in and need to embrace that change today, know that I believe in you. You are stronger than you think. You are wiser than you allow yourself to be. Trust your being and let your intuition guide you. Have just a little more faith in yourself today. Until next Monday, when I'll be pulling the 6th card from the deck of Positive Action, have a powerful week. To listen to the other episodes of A-Z of Positive Action, log on to the IVM podcast website or download their app or tune into them on any other podcast platforms you are logged into. To know more about the deck of cards and the do-it-yourself workbook, log on to my website circleofpositivity.com or connect with me on Instagram. My handle is @positivityangel. Remember, tune in next Monday where I'll be talking about F for forgive and how to move on with gratitude.
There she stands, a podcast addict, outside the bank, having traveled several miles to get in with other poor souls like her. The journey, though daunting for this youngling, will have some comfort because she has downloaded her favorite podcast. You can see more of her species on ivmpodcasts.com, your one-stop destination where you can check out the coolest Indian podcasts. Happy listening.